Are you ready to figure out how to overcome the extremely yucky feeling that happens when conflict arises? A difference in opinion, a difference in perspective, a difference in values, and how do you move forward? Well, right now, I am sharing with you three very simple but tricky secrets to reconciliation. And if you tap into the wisdom of these steps, then what you can expect is more confidence and more connection in your relationships. So we're going to dive right in. Number one, be ready for the truth. The saying goes, you can't handle the truth. Why is it that we can't handle the truth? Or who is a person who can't handle the truth? Well, the person who can't handle the truth is someone who has not developed a relationship with honesty, has not developed a thick skin for being confronted and being told the truth. And the reason why this is step number one, if you recognize where you prefer to live in a fantasy world about yourself, about the way you show up, about the way that you respond, or the way that you communicate and its impact on other people, then you may not be ready for the truth. And if you're not ready for the truth, then you're not ready to take the first step towards reconciliation, because you got to first have the mindset and the mentality, okay, whatever you got to say about me, I can handle it. Right? And that's not to say that what the other person may say is 100% correct, but if they're being totally honest with you about their experience, then that is the truth according to the feedback that you're opening yourself up to when you are readying and preparing yourself to hear what someone else is experiencing about you. And that is how you get to the first question. Questions are very, very powerful tools for communication and navigating conflict. Questions are not accusatory when they are formed the right way and when they come from the right heart, the right intention, the right motivation. This isn't about you being right. This is about you discovering and exploring and finding out, what did I do to hurt you? A lot of people are struggling in relationships where they find themselves avoiding each other more and more and more, spending less time with somebody they care about, somebody that they love, because they want to avoid the discomfort of the conflict. But all this does is it's showing you that there's a hurt here. So why not ask? What did I do to hurt you? And maybe you already know. Maybe you already know what they're going to say. This is a very common occurrence in relationships. We get familiar with each other. We become complacent with each other. I already think I know what you feel. I already think I know how you're going to respond. But what about the respect for the other person that comes from asking the question anyway? And then just being ready to hear the response without defending yourself. What did I do to hurt you? Secret number two is to be in a posture where you're ready to accept the fact that you're not perfect and you're not always the nicest person to get along with. You're not always easy to get along with in different circumstances, at different times of the day, at different seasons. You may not be anything nice. And other people have to make adjustments to who you are and how you show up. And it's not easy for them either. You are not a bed of roses. And when you're willing to accept that, this is where we practice humility. This is where we realize that, you know what, in this life, in order for us to be like a community of human beings, we all got to own our stuff. We all got to recognize that we have off moments and off episodes and off days. And sometimes we have some real funky ways about ourselves that other people don't like. And something that you think is perfectly fine and ordinary because of how you've grown up or what your experience has been or how you're used to people talking to you, it might not go down that easy for everybody else. Be willing to accept that. A lot of times people make the excuse, well, that's just who I am. But is it? Are we talking about one of your characteristics that's just like immutable, like your skin color, your gender, maybe the fact that you may laugh loudly, or you might be someone who's detail oriented? Those things are the types of things that are immutable, are personality things. But what about habits, right? Is it just your personality not to wash your dishes when you're done with them? It's just not your personality to notice that the trash can is full and overflowing, that the trash should be taken out by somebody who notices that it's full? Is it just your personality to use someone's car and not put gas in it? So, right, these things are not personality issues, they are behavior and habit issues. And when you like look at being in someone else's shoes when it comes to dealing with you and your habits, and you practice some humility, that you're not always a bed of roses, then you have unlocked secret number two for reconciling the conflict in your relationship. Question number two is so hard when you are full of pride, when you are full of arrogance, when you are convinced that you are 100% right, and there is no way on God's green earth that you played any role in the conflict. And at the end of the day, if someone has an experience where they feel hurt, they feel offended, they feel that you have been disrespectful or dishonorable in some type of way, then even if you were right on the merits, even if you were right on the principle, even if you were right on the facts, then humility and asking this one question right here is like single-handedly closing the door to the devil running rampant in your house and taking advantage of the other person's need to protect themselves from you because you're not even willing to ask for forgiveness. Very, very powerful and simple, yet hard question to ask. And if you're finding it hard to ask this question, then it may be some time for you to do some introspection about your pride. Number three, take courage. Believe it or not, vulnerability is an incredible sign of great, great strength. Vulnerability has a really jacked up interpretation and definition in the modern culture as something that is actually weak. But it takes a lot of courage to be the person that says, you know what, I'm going to do the right thing even if you don't. I'm going to choose to behave in maturity and in love, even if you won't. I am going to be brave because I love you more than I'm afraid. And I'm willing to overcome my fear because of my love for you. And this is super duper important, y'all. Like, if if I could package vulnerability like in a supplement, like in a breakfast shake, I'm telling y'all right now, it would completely change your life. You just take one of these vulnerability shakes once a day for breakfast, and your life and your relationships completely change because you're no longer living in fear. You're no longer afraid of somebody rejecting you. You're no longer afraid of somebody cussing you out. You're no longer afraid of being the person who gets abandoned or left to somebody's going to break up with you before you can break up with them. They're like, you don't even, that doesn't even matter anymore. Like, for real. You don't love for real until you have overcome fear. And that requires courage, which leads us to question number three. What can I do differently so that we can move forward together past this situation? Now, where most people really, really feel resentful towards even asking a question like this is that oftentimes we show up like little kids in our conflict. Like, you hurt my feelings And if you hit me, then I'm gonna hit you back. Or if I make a peace offering to you, then you need to meet me halfway and you need to give me the same thing. Like, what do little kids do? Show me yours and I'll show you mine, right? That's not how this works. That is not how this works. True love is not waiting for you to act right. True love is not conditioning how I show up based on your behavior. True love is going to love you regardless of if you acting crazy. True love is going to ask for your forgiveness, whether you even admit your fault. True love is going to offer to make a change in the way that I hurt you, I disrespected you, I dishonored you, and I'm going to do it whether or not you even match me. That's why this step requires gangster and much, much courage. But I promise you, you start living in this kind of courage for real, it will completely change your life. So the format has changed because social media has changed. And you know what? I honestly hate just sitting up here and speaking to a screen on camera and not getting your feedback and not having the opportunity to bounce off your feelings, your thoughts, your experiences. In our last living room episode, which was our very first, we had a great conversation about what it looks like when people like resent each other, like how far it could actually go, like an actual real life example that we got to discuss as a family and just kind of like roll it around. Like, man, well, how do we want to show up in our life? How do we want to show up in love? And really taking real life examples and kind of working through them and talking about them in a safe space. That's what the Law for Love living room is. And I welcome you. Uh, I could have invited everyone in my email list to just kind of hop in and join, but this really is an intimate space. We're not necessarily trying to have a huge group, just a intimate group, just adults who are ready to figure out some stuff, ready to be transparent and open and make some changes for the betterment of their relationships. And you're not required to put your business in the streets. You're not even required to share any thoughts at all. But this is where the conversation is happening tonight. And so at 6:10, immediately after this broadcast is posted, Monday nights, 6:10, you can register and gain access to that room, to the content of the discussions that we're having from that room, and join us in a two-way conversation. Most people who work with me will tell you conversations with me are a whole lot different than how I show up on social media. And so, you know what? I'm going to just roll with what I'm good at, sitting here and hearing your voice and responding to your voice, or just talking to you from a very intimate space off of YouTube. And so I invite you to join. It's open to men and women, and we're talking life, whether you are married, whether you are navigating life after marriage, whether you are navigating a conflict with a parent or a child. We are talking about conflict in intimate spaces. So, family, any and all things family, you are welcome to join us. And thank you so much for supporting this channel.